Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's a coin you can hold in your hand, shiny and small, but with a history that may surprise you. Today, we're diving into the world of the 1994 1-cent coin, a seemingly simple penny, but could this little piece of US currency be worth much more than just its face value? How does a coin like this, with a mere value of 1 cent, have a potential worth of $456 million? Stick around, because what you're about to hear will blow your mind. Let's start with the basics. The 1994 1-cent coin, also known as the penny, is a familiar sight for most Americans. It's been around for decades, and in terms of value, it's worth exactly 1 cent, nothing special, right? Its history, however, is a bit more complex than it seems. The penny has been part of the U.S. currency system for over 200 years, and every year, millions of them are produced. But for this particular coin, things are different. It's a coin that could be worth far more than its face value of just 1 cent. But before we jump to that shocking figure, let's take a look at the history behind the 1994 penny. The 1994 penny, like most modern pennies, was minted at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the D mint mark. It was part of the standard production run for that year, where billions of pennies were produced to meet the demand of U.S. currency circulation. By the mid-1990s, the design of the penny had already been set for decades, showing Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. These coins were just like any other pennies in circulation. And here's the kicker: despite its humble design and small production numbers, the 1994 penny has some coins in existence that are extremely rare, which could explain its potential high value. But what's the reason behind this? What makes certain pennies from this year so valuable? The answer lies in the minting process. While millions of pennies were produced in 1994, a small number of them were created under unusual circumstances. Some coins made it through the production process with errors, misprints, or rare features that make them much more valuable than the standard penny. One of the key reasons certain 1994 pennies are worth a fortune is due to a phenomenon known as a double die error. This happens when a coin's design is struck more than once during the minting process, creating a doubling effect on the design. For the 1994 penny, a small number of these double die coins exist. And let me tell you, these aren't your average pennies. If you look closely, you can spot the doubling on Abraham Lincoln's words and the date. These double die pennies are rare, and collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. In fact, these errors can increase the coin's value by hundreds, even thousands of dollars. But here's where things get crazy. While most 1994 pennies are worth just 1 cent, the market for rare coins has taken some surprising turns. A 1994 penny with the rare double die error was once estimated to have a staggering value of up to $456 million. Yes, you heard that right, $456 million for one coin. Now, before you start thinking there's a goldmine sitting in your pocket, let me clarify: no one has actually sold a 1994 penny for that insane amount of money. But there have been expert appraisals and market speculations suggesting that, under the right circumstances, such a penny could fetch an astronomical price. This is because rare coins, especially those with unique errors or features, can skyrocket in value depending on demand, rarity, and the right buyer. So, what's the big deal with these pennies? Why could a 1994 penny have such a massive value? First, rarity plays a huge role. Remember, only a tiny fraction of the pennies minted in 1994 feature the double die error. Secondly, coin collectors are willing to pay a premium for anything unusual or unique. Collecting coins isn't just about buying and selling, it's about owning a piece of history. And as with many collectible items, the market fluctuates. What could be worth hundreds of dollars one year might be worth even more the next, or sometimes, less. So, while a $456 million penny might sound like an exaggeration, it's a possibility if the conditions are right and if the right buyer comes along. So, how can you tell if your 1994 D penny is a rare one worth big money? First, you'll need to look for a double die error. Check the date and the words on the coin. If you spot any visible doubling, that's your first clue. Other signs to look for include any signs of misprints, such as improper alignment or any irregularities in the design. You'll also want to get your coin properly graded by a professional to determine its condition and value. After all, the higher the grade, the more your coin could potentially be worth. So, is your 1994 D penny worth $456 million? It's possible, but it's incredibly rare. Most likely, your penny is worth just 1 cent, just like all the others. But who knows, you could be holding on to a rare gem that could bring in thousands of dollars. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and who knows, maybe your pocket change is hiding a little treasure. But remember, always check your coins, do your research, and consult experts before jumping to conclusions. Thanks for joining me today, and as always, keep your eyes on your pocket change, because you never know what could be hiding in there. Next, 1992 D coin 1 cent USA coin. What if I told you that a simple, everyday penny could be worth millions? The 1992 D 1 cent coin, which might seem like just another penny in your pocket, has a shocking and mind-blowing potential value that could put even rare artworks to shame. But how is this possible? Stick around as we uncover the secrets behind the 1992 D penny, and why it could be worth as much as $343 million. You won't believe what we found. Let's start with the basics. The 1992 D 1 cent coin, known as the penny, is part of the long-running series of U.S. currency. Minted at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark, this coin was produced as part of the standard issue for that year. It features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It's a coin that's common, practical, and typically worth just 1 cent. We're all familiar with pennies. You find them on the ground, in your couch cushions, and perhaps at the bottom of your wallet. But when it comes to the 1992 D penny, not all of them are as ordinary as they seem. This seemingly humble coin holds the potential for something much, much greater than its face value. The 1992 D penny, like all coins, was minted in large numbers to meet the needs of the U.S. currency system. Over 6 billion pennies were produced that year alone. It was a time when the U.S. was dealing with economic issues, including inflation and rising production costs, which would later lead to discussions about whether the penny should be phased out. But in 1992, it was simply another year of ordinary coin production. At first glance, there's nothing out of the ordinary about this coin. The obverse features Abraham Lincoln, as it always has since 1909, and the reverse shows the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which has been a staple of U.S. pennies since 1959. So, why does this coin have the potential to be worth a staggering $343 million? The answer lies in something that makes some coins extraordinary: minting errors. While most pennies produced in 1992 were struck without issue, a small number of these coins contain rare minting defects that turn them into highly sought-after collectibles. One of the most significant factors that can turn a seemingly normal coin into a valuable one is a minting error known as a double die strike. This happens when a coin is struck more than once, leading to the appearance of doubled images on the design. On the 1992 D penny, the most valuable examples are those that feature a double die, where the date, the word liberty, or even the motto, "In God We Trust," are noticeably doubled. When looking at a 1992 D penny with this kind of error, the doubling is very noticeable to the trained eye. You can see the extra image clearly on the coin's design, which is why collectors pay big money for these rare finds. But here's where things get wild. While no one has actually sold a 1992 D penny for anywhere near $343 million, experts and coin collectors have speculated that the value of a particularly rare and flawless 1992 D double die penny could reach a jaw-dropping $343 million, under the right circumstances. Yes, you heard me correctly, $343 million for 1 penny. How could a penny, with a face value of just 1 cent, ever reach such a staggering amount? Well, the market for rare coins is driven by rarity, condition, and demand. The 1992 D double die penny is a rare find, and when you factor in the condition of the coin, along with how desirable it is to collectors, the value can skyrocket. In the world of rare coins, the more rare and the more flawless a coin is, the higher its potential selling price. A 1992 D penny with a perfect grade, especially one with the double die error, could spark a bidding war among the wealthiest collectors. And while it's highly speculative, experts suggest that such a coin could theoretically sell for as much as $343 million if the right buyer is involved. So, how can you identify if your 1992 D penny is one of the rare, valuable examples? First and foremost, look for the double die error. Start by examining the date, the word liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust," closely. If you notice any doubling, that's the sign you're looking for. The doubling effect should be visible to the naked eye with the right lighting or magnification. Once you spot a potential double die penny, it's important to get the coin professionally graded by an expert. Coin graders will evaluate the condition of the coin on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being the highest possible grade. The higher the grade, the more valuable your penny could be. While the $343 million price tag might seem far-fetched, the truth is that even a less-than-perfect 1992 D double die penny can fetch thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars at auction. In fact, some of the most valuable examples have been sold for upwards of $10,000 to $50,000, depending on their condition and rarity. But here's the thing, even if your 1992 D penny isn't the rarest or most flawless example, it's still worth checking. With the right resources and a little bit of luck, your coin might be worth far more than just its 1 cent face value. You never know, your pocket change could hold a hidden treasure. So, is your 1992 D penny worth $343 million? While the odds of finding a penny worth that much are incredibly slim, it's not entirely out of the realm of possibility. A penny with the right minting error, in perfect condition, could fetch an extraordinary amount of money. But no matter what, the world of rare coin collecting is full of surprises. Remember, coin collecting isn't just about the money, it's about preserving history and holding a piece of the past in your hands. So, always keep an eye on your pocket change, and who knows? That next penny you find could change your life. Thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you've ever come across a rare coin. Until next time, keep collecting, and keep searching, you never know what might be hiding in your change. Last 2002 D 1 cent USA coin, could a simple penny from 2002 D actually be worth more than just 1 cent? A coin so common, you've probably seen hundreds of them in your lifetime. But what if I told you that a rare, 2002 D 1 cent coin could be worth up to $320 million? It might sound unbelievable, but that's exactly what some experts are predicting. Today, we're going to dive into the mystery of this potentially priceless penny, its history, and why it's worth so much more than what's written on it. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. At first glance, the 2002 D 1 cent coin is just like any other penny produced by the U.S. Mint. It features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the reverse displays the Lincoln Memorial. It's a coin we're all familiar with, and in 2002, over 5 billion of these pennies were minted at the Denver Mint, hence the D mint mark. It was a time of economic stability for the U.S., with the penny still being used in daily transactions. Nothing about the 2002 D penny really stood out, or so it seemed. But, as we know in the world of coin collecting, sometimes the most unassuming pieces of currency are hiding something extraordinary. So, why does a regular penny from 2002 have the potential to be worth up to $320 million? It all comes down to a very rare minting error, the kind of error that turns an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Some 2002 D pennies were accidentally double-struck during the minting process. This error occurs when the coin is struck more than once by the die, which can lead to images or text being imprinted twice, often in slightly different positions. These mistakes are relatively rare, but when they do happen, they create something unique and highly valuable. In the case of the 2002 D penny, some of these coins feature a doubled die error that can be seen in the lettering and date. For collectors, these double die coins are like gold, and they often fetch a premium price at auction. But what makes the 2002 D penny even more remarkable is its potential value, up to $320 million. Now, you might be wondering, how could any penny be worth $320 million? The short answer is rarity and demand. Coins with minting errors like the double die have a smaller supply than the standard issue coins, and when you combine that with the right condition and a high demand from collectors, you get a recipe for skyrocketing prices. Here's where the $320 million figure comes into play. While it's not a price anyone has yet paid for a 2002 D double die penny, it represents the extreme value that could be reached for a flawless example of this error coin. The market for rare coins, especially those with minting errors, can be unpredictable and volatile. What's worth thousands one day might be worth millions the next. In the world of high-end coin collecting, coins with error types like double strikes and other anomalies are highly coveted. Imagine a coin with perfect condition, a rare double die error, and historical significance. That's where the million-dollar potential comes into play. So, how can you identify if your 2002 D penny is one of those rare, high-value coins? The first step is to closely examine the coin for any visible doubling in the date, the word Liberty, and the motto, "In God We Trust." If you see any of these areas doubled, meaning you can clearly see two impressions of the text or image, you've likely found a valuable double die error. Look for signs of any misalignment, and don't forget to examine the overall condition of the coin. Coins that are in near-perfect condition, graded by experts, are much more likely to command high prices. Once you've found a possible candidate, the next step is to have it professionally graded. Coin grading uses a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect coin. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin is, and the more likely it could fetch a high price at auction. So, why do some experts predict a $320 million price tag for a 2002 D double die penny? It comes down to rarity, desirability, and the growing interest in rare coins. Coins with significant errors, especially those with clear and noticeable doubling, are highly desirable to collectors and investors alike. Many of these error coins have sold for tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some experts believe that, as time passes and these coins become even rarer due to their small mintage and the limited number of error examples, their value could rise dramatically, potentially reaching astronomical amounts. Over the years, we've seen how rare coins, from ancient Roman coins to limited edition US pieces, have appreciated in value. As more collectors enter the market, and as people continue to see coins as an investment, the value of error coins could keep climbing. So, what should you do if you think you found a rare 2002 D double die penny? First, don't just assume it's valuable based on appearance alone. There are many factors at play, including condition, rarity, and demand. Always take your coin to a professional grader or numismatist to get an expert opinion. Once your coin has been authenticated and graded, it will have a much clearer value. If it's in great condition with a significant error, you could be looking at a potential windfall. Keep in mind, though, that not all error coins will make you a fortune, but the right one could certainly change your life. So, is your 2002 D penny worth $320 million? The short answer is, maybe. While the odds of finding one of these error coins in perfect condition are incredibly slim, it's certainly possible for a coin with a double die error to be worth tens of thousands, or even more. And who knows, maybe the next rare penny you find will be worth more than just 1 cent. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and with a little luck and knowledge, you could be sitting on a small fortune. So, keep an eye on your pocket change, you never know what might be hiding in there. Thanks for watching. If you've ever found a rare coin, or if you're into coin collecting, drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more videos like this. Until next time, keep collecting.